so I don't say, hey guys!
Making some pierogies today.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Pantry Kitchen. I'm Catherine, and today I am bringing you a classic recipe, and it is homemade pierogies. My family absolutely adores them, and it's just a few simple ingredients for one of the best tasting little side dishes or main dish for dinner or lunch. So grab your ingredients and let's get started.
What kind of peeler you got here?
What the heck? There we go. So I have 3 large russet potatoes. I'm just going to peel and dice up into small cubes and then put in a pan that you can then use an electric mixer in. So you don't want it to be a non-stick because it'll scrape the coating. So I'm just using a stainless steel pot here, and that will be perfect for mashing the potatoes. So we're going to fill this with water so the potatoes are fully covered in water and pop it on the stove. Okay, so we are doing a classic potato and cheddar. So what I've got here is just some cow's cheddar, and then I'm gonna mix it with some creamy Havarti as well. This makes the potatoes super, super creamy, really nice and cheesy, and that's kind of the flavor combo that I'm going for. I'm just going to shred up my creamy Havarti and then set that aside while our potatoes are boiling. You want them to be knife tender, so really, really soft. The softer the better. I would recommend about 15-20 minutes, and then you can start checking with a knife, and then we will begin to mash. All right. So all of my cheese is shredded, and I'm just gonna set it off to the side here. So my potatoes are nice and soft and ready to go. So what I'm gonna do, I've got some cream that's a little warm, so it's about 1/3 of a cup. I'm gonna kind of see how everything's going. Got some unsalted butter, both my kinds of cheese, and then I'm gonna do salt and pepper. We're gonna mix everything until it's completely smooth, and then we will set it aside in the fridge to cool. So I like to put a little bit of cream on them, and then I'll pop the lid on just for about 20 seconds with all that steam, just to help everything kind of blend together and melt. We'll add some pepper and some salt. At this point, nothing has been seasoned. And we're gonna whip everything together. Once everything's starting to look smooth, I'll incorporate my cheese. We'll take some of that back. And this does look very creamy and smooth, and you're like, oh my gosh, how is that going to be a filling? Well, potatoes are very starchy, so once they go in the fridge, this will cool completely, and then it will stiffen up. We're just going to go in with a little bit more salt, a little bit more pepper, and I think I'm going to finish off using this cheese as well, because I want them to be super cheesy. Pop this in the refrigerator to cool completely. We want it to firm up a bit so that it's easy to pipe into our pierogies. There we go. And in the meantime, I will show you how to make the dough. All right, so now while our filling is cooling in the fridge, we're gonna work on our dough. This also needs to rest for about a half hour, so it's a perfect time to get it done now while the filling is cooling, and then we'll be able to kind of assemble everything around the same time. So I'm gonna use my stand mixer just because it makes my life easier. So I've got my all-purpose flour and salt. It's a very simple and easy dough. I've got 1 cup of hot water going in, and some melted butter, 3 tablespoons. And that's all it takes. So it should be a soft, elastic dough. I'm going to keep this bowl to put it in after to rest. Pop this on my stand mixer with a dough hook attachment and knead until smooth. We might need a little bit of flour extra depending if it's still really sticky. So just keep some on hand and then we can sprinkle it in if needed. All right, so now that it's, whoopsie, now that it's coming off the sides of the bowl, all I'm gonna do is continue to knead it by hand. You want it to be nice and soft. So sometimes you don't overwork it. I like to do it by hand. So just keep it going until you get a nice smooth dough. Our dough has come together. It's nice and soft and smooth. So we are putting it in an oiled bowl, again, covered with plastic wrap, and will probably sit for about 30 to 40 minutes. It's just gonna give the gluten enough time to rest, and then it'll be a lot easier to roll out and cut into circles. So you can see here we've got a super soft dough. I can punch right into it and it's nice and soft, and that's what we're looking for. So I'm gonna do a little bit of flour on my surface, not a lot. So I don't want these to get too tough. Just enough to help me roll out. And you'll find it's a super forgiving and easy dough to roll out. You can even do this if you have, I already packed the attachment, but if you have a pasta attachment on your KitchenAid, or even just a hand one, you can also portion this and then feed it through there, and that will make your life a little bit easier, but you just have a little bit of patience. We're gonna roll it out pretty thin, and I've got my large round cutter again. And because we are gonna fold them over, I want it to be pretty thin because then it will kind of basically double. I don't want a really thick pierogi. You want a nice melt in your mouth. The dough is there just to carry the filling. So nice and thin as you can get it. All right. All right, so we just rolled out all our pierogi dough and now it's time to fill them. So my filling is nice and cool. I've got a piping bag here just to help me out. And like I said, I probably won't need all of this, but 1, it's amazing to eat as is, or 2, save it and you can make more dough. So we'll start with that. Set that aside. And honestly, this is just easier for assembly purposes. The fact that it's in a piping bag, it's easier to obviously pipe on your rounds. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna kind of stretch the sides here and then fold over and pinch them shut. You can use a fork for this or just your fingers. You just wanna make sure that they're completely closed. Just take your fork, a little bit of flour so it doesn't stick, and there you go. So now we'll do that to all the pierogies. All right, so I had just set my pierogies in the freezer just for them to chill and firm up. So now we're ready to go. We're just gonna be in here for about a minute. And then we're going to, I'm gonna turn my skillet on so it's nice and hot, just with some butter, a little salt and pepper. I want that to be nice and melted and hot. These we're just looking for about a minute and we'll finish them in the skillet. So I'm just gonna do 5 today to show you, but my whole batch made 25. So you can cook all of them, you can keep them in the freezer like I did. It's totally up to you. I'll go right in. All right, we're just gonna get them coated in that butter. Make sure nobody's sticking. We want nice, crispy exterior. One more minute. Oh, yes. I wish you could smell them right now, but you can if you make them. Okay, I cannot wait any longer. We must taste these delicious pierogies that we made today. Oh, gotta get a little sour cream, little chives. Might be hot. Oh my goodness. That is so good.
Going for another.
I should go in for another. Why be shy? It's too good. Bingo. What's his name? I'm telling you, staple recipe in your house, these pierogies will become. Super easy to make. If you have the time on like a Sunday afternoon, you can make a double batch and then you have them for a few weeks or a month. Just pop them in the freezer like I said. And then you have instant homemade pierogies whenever you have the craving. So please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a new video. And have a wonderful day. Bye. Bye. Bingo was his name.
Copyright.